Hi everyone. My name is Hemant, and I am going to take you through the Chartered Financial Analyst program overview for today. Before we do that, I'm just going to introduce myself. My name is Hemant, and I am working with Mercer Investments for the last 6 years. The total work experience that I have in the investments industry and the wealth management industry is around 10 years. And I'm working there as a process manager. And with respect to my CFA journey, I started with CFA level 1 in 2012, and I completed all the levels in 2017. Right. Why it took so long? Because of the work commitments, and that is one factor which at times holds you back when you are studying also and working also. uh, it is not that you cannot study along with your work. You can, of course. I have worked and I have studied, and that's how I have completed all the levels of CFA uh, CFA program. But yes, at times due to work commitments, you have to prioritize work over studies. So it yeah, so that's about my CFA journey, and we are going to go through this presentation that I have up on the screen, which is going to elaborate on what is CFA and how is CFA structured and how it is going to help you with your careers. But in between, if you do have any questions for me, please feel free to type your questions in the chat box, and I should take them up. Right. Uh, the full form of CFA is Chartered Financial Analyst. It's a charter course, which means that at the end of the course, and if you have relevant work experience, you're going to receive a charter. Charter would mean that if you are a CFA, then you can write CFA in front of your name, just like this, Hemant Kapoor, comma CFA, and that is something that you can also write on your visiting card, on your signature, or maybe on LinkedIn or Naukri, wherever you are displaying your name, you can do that. And that happens only once you receive charter and complete all the levels. In order to receive charter, you also need to have certain work experience in the same industry. And uh, and uh, yeah, and once you have that work experience, you are able to receive the charter. Okay, I have a question from Naman. Actually, I want to ask whether to pursue CFA or not. Well, Naman, before I answer that question to you, um, I would like to understand your background. So, what is the background of the studies or the education that you have, and what is your objective? Do you want to excel in a finance career? Do you think that finance is something that drives you? Do you think investments is something that drives you? Do you understand finance? Do you understand, the different concepts of finance? Do they interest you? Right. So that's where my questions would start. Okay, so you have a background of data. I did MSc in statistics and working as a senior data science. Well, Naman, these days, data science and finance, they have a blend, right? If I talk about all the new technology companies which are coming up, there is definitely a blend between data science and finance. So given your work, given your background in statistics, and given your background in MSc, and given your background that you're working as a data science specialist, CFA would add CFA would add an edge into your career in a way that, um, right now, if you have to take up a job which involves data science and programming languages like Python and R, you might not be able to apply for those jobs, or maybe think that you do not have the finance knowledge. And these jobs are getting common day by day. But once you are a CFA, or you complete any of the levels of CFA, then the doors open for you to take up those kind of jobs also. Your work structure currently does not have finance, but you want to take finance as a career. I think if you do, then it would be a wonderful blend of the finance and data science, because that is something that is pretty much in demand. Um, and I think that can really add an edge into your career and to your education. So my vote would be a yes, that you should definitely go for it, because you have already a base which is related to statistics and MSc and data science, and you can add an edge to that base by pursuing CFA. Should an experienced CA having 10 years of experience in audit should go for CFA? Will it increase the package, or do you need to start from the beginning or cut? Okay, that's a good question, Harshit. Um, it depends again on what kind of direction you want to move into. If you want to move into audit, then CFA would not add any value. If you want to move into finance, if you want to move into asset management, you want to move into investment management, you want to move into portfolio management, investment banking, then definitely CFA will help you in bringing that change into your career. With respect to the paycheck, with respect to salary, these are all very temporary cuts, even if you have to take. But over the long term, there will be two benefits. First, money wise, is obviously if you have CFA added to your current qualification, so you're going to be weighted in a different way altogether. Your weightage in terms of your qualification will be heavier. Secondly, it will give you internal satisfaction, because at the end of the day, you will be doing what you want to do, right? Taking a cut in your pay, or going on the same salary, or going on a same package, these are all temporary things. And I think with the passage of time, maybe a couple of years, you are actually at a better level, right? So that is, but again, you have to answer whether you have to answer yourself whether you want to uh, go into the asset management and investment banking and investment management, or you want to remain in audit, right? Okay. Also, I want to ask, is it necessary to have MBA in finance if you want to become an investment banker, or only a CFA would work? Well, Naman, the current structure is that if you want to be an investment banker, it is a very hectic job. It's not an easy job. So most of the top investment banks would prefer an MBA, right? But if you ask me, if you ask them also, that whether an MBA possesses more knowledge about finance, or whether a CFA possesses more knowledge about finance, the answer would be a CFA possesses more knowledge about finance and understands concepts better compared to an MBA in finance. The reason why most of the companies prefer MBAs is because they also need some exposure to the management education, which CFA does not provide, right? SAP FICO experience would be considered helpful. Venkata, you would have to explain me what is SAP FICO experience. I'm not very aware of that. All right. Um, so I'm going to start with the presentation, and in between, if you have any questions, please keep on typing them in the chat, and I shall take them up. Well, CFA Institute has more than 170,000 charter holders. When I say charter holders, they are all level 3 clear candidates, just like me, who work in some of the industry's most prominent firms like JP Morgan and UBS and RBC and Bank of America, HSBC, Wells Fargo, and you name it. The CFA program is recognized over 60 plus by 60 plus regulators. When we talk about regulators, we mean to say the regulators who are regulating the market, like Securities and Exchange Commission or Securities and Exchange Board of India in India. And it is recognized by those regulators, right? So it is not something which is new these days. Everybody knows what is a CFA. Over 125 colleges and universities incorporate majority of the CFA curriculum in the courses. If you talk about the MBA in finance, I would say only 25% of the CFA course is incorporated. The rest of the 75% of the concepts is something that you would study when you will pursue CFA. Because in MBA finance, the major focus is on management, and only the last 6 months are focused on finance field. And in 6 months, it's not possible to cover all the concepts. Whereas if you're pursuing CFA, then in 3 levels cumulatively, you would understand all the concepts and you would go through all the different nuances of the financial world. The career advantage is that employers recognize the CFA charter holders. Now, if you have CFA charter holder or CFA written on your resume, uh, not much of an explanation is required regarding your skills or regarding your education or regarding what you possess, because as long as you write CFA or write that you have cleared level 1 or level 2, it says it all, right? So it's a self-speaking designation or a self-speaking course, right? CFA does not focus on theoretical things. CFA only focuses on the practical things, and you will see that every year CFA Institute comes up with new changes in the course. The one recent change that I can tell you is about Bitcoins. The study or the learning on Bitcoins has been added to the CFA course, and that very clearly tells us that CFA is very close to the practical world. What happens in the practical world also is something what you will study when you are pursuing CFA. I think we have a question. Prasad, I'm in banking industry for the last 4 years in trade and compliance department. So after CFA, which department would I have the opportunities in the banking industry? Well, Prasad, every bank has the investment division. If I talk about, let's say, Kotak Bank has mutual funds. Kotak Bank has certain investment products that it has. Now, there are certain people who are making and coming up with these investment products, right? That, if you invest this much, then this is what you're going to get after 5 years, after 7 years. And then at the same time, if a customer invests in these products, then somebody is required to invest this money further into the markets. Most of the money goes into equities or maybe debt. Now, that's where a CFA would come into picture, right? Because the investment of the money in the market is something that CFA can understand better. I'm not saying that the moment you complete CFA, you will be on the front end and the bank will trust you with all the money. But yes, the CFA course will make a platform for you so that you can enter that world wherein you can start to understand how to handle the money and how to invest the money and understand different nuances of how investment works, right? So this is where the CFA would actually fit in terms of the banks. Banks also have different other services, like the core banking service, the fixed deposits and the check-in accounts. That's not where a CFA would really fit. A CFA would fit mainly in the asset management and the investment division or the portfolio management division, because many of the banks, they offer the portfolio management services these days also to their clients. So that's where the CFA would fit with respect to the banks. By doing CFA, what opportunities for abroad? Well, Naman, with respect to the opportunities are many. And when you talk about abroad, it depends on which country you are going in. If we talk about the North American market, or maybe the market in the UK or the European side, it's pretty much developed, and CFA is a very recognized qualification over there, right? And then apart from that, it also depends on what's the demand of a CFA over there. And the demand is pretty high, because the CFA is a course that belongs to the US, and the US fraternity of investors or the US fraternity of people, they understand CFA more than how the CFA is understood in India. So the opportunities abroad are very, very high when you pursue or complete CFA, right? Right. So this is going to be the agenda for today. We're going to understand the Chartered Financial Analyst program, and then something about EduPristine, and then the contact information. Well, there are 3 levels in CFA, and the minimum eligibility for level 1 is that you have to be a final year graduate, and you can appear for CFA level 1. Passport is mandatory when you appear, because passport is something that they would check when you enter the examination hall or when you register for the exam. For CFA level 2, you should have completed your graduation and completed CFA level 1 exam. And for level 3, obviously, you should have cleared level 2 exam. After this, if you have 4,000 hours of work experience, then you will get you can get the charter, and that work experience should be a relevant work experience, right? It should be related or remotely related to investment and portfolio management or corporate finance, something like that, or maybe investment banking. If you are at the back end of investment banking, that also works. A work experience of 4,000, no, it does not include the non-financial work experience. It is the relevant work experience that you should have. About the exam, it is administered by CFA Institute, USA, all over the world. And the minimum time to pass 3 exams as per the new CBT pattern, which is computer-based test, is 1 to 1.5 years. Now, CFA earlier was only a paper-based test, but these days it is a computer-based test from February 2021. You can book your slot, and there's a lot of flexibility. You can go on the day that you choose and then appear for the exam. Generally, the exams are happening in February, May, November, and August. So at the end of these months, you will get a 10 days window in which you can basically choose the day of your liking and book the slot and appear for the exam over the computer. So that's a computer-based test that you have now. Yes, Naman, I'll answer these questions. So all these questions that you have will be answered in the upcoming slides. With respect to your current question, yes, it will be an MCQ, multiple choice questions. The exam is not for 3 hours. It's been reduced to 2.25. Right? I'll cover that in the upcoming slide. These are the topics that you'll be covering in the CFA course. The first topic will be ethical and professional standards, right? It talks about how ethical you should be and how honest you should be when it comes to the investment profession, because at the end of the day, you might be managing somebody's money and you cannot be dishonest or you cannot be careless at all. So CFA Institute tests you, giving you different situations in all the levels, whether you are able to pass the ethical standards or not, right? Again, a multiple choice question. Quantitative methods, this is statistics, economics. You'll have mostly class 12th economics in level 1, and then in level 2 and level 3, you will have advanced concepts. Financial reporting analysis mainly talks about accounting of different items on the balance sheet, income statement, and cash flows. Corporate finance, here the decisions are taken with respect to whether to invest in a project or not. Equity investments, here you will understand everything about the equity markets in all 3 levels. Fixed income, again, you'll understand about debt markets in all 3 levels. Derivatives, this is another concept related to financial world. Derivatives, here you'll understand futures and options in all 3 levels. And then alternative investments, which includes real estate and hedge funds and private equity. And at the end, you will see portfolio management. Portfolio management's weightage is quite low in the first 2 levels, but in the last level, portfolio management takes a lead, because the CFA Institute prepares you to see it from the perspective of managing a portfolio in your job. So in level 3, they prepare you with that. Each level requires 250 to 350 hours of studies. And even if you are working, it is very easy to take out this time. I'm not saying that you will not have to sacrifice anything. Obviously, you might have to sacrifice your weekends. You might have to take out some time on daily basis, maybe a couple of hours. You might have to wake up early, sleep late, but it is doable. And generally, if I tell you from my personal experience, it used to take around 3 months to 4 months to prepare for any level, whether it's level 1 or level 3, right? So I gave all the exams in June. I used to start around February and then appear in June. And I'm not a very intelligent person. I'm a very mediocre, and it's just that I studied hard, and by the time the exams were there, I used to be really nervous and used to make sure that all the concepts that I have are on my fingertips. So that is something that you would have to also do. You do not have to be extra intelligent in order to do CFA. It's just that you have to put some extra hard work in order to do CFA. From February 2021, you have the computer-based test. It started from February 21, and you can self-schedule the exams over the 10-day periods window. 180 questions will be there that the CFA Institute will test you on. The exam is proctored in 400 plus locations globally, 2.25 hour sessions with a break in between, 90 questions per session. Multiple choice questions will be there. So every question will have 3 answers. You have to select the correct one. Each exam is 4.5 hours long approx. So 2.25 plus 2.25, split between morning and afternoon sessions. There will be a break in between the morning and the afternoon session. The level 2 exam is comprised again of item set questions. So here you will be given the case study, and on the case study basis, you will have 6 questions per case study, and every question will have 3 options. It is offered twice in 1 year, May and August, and level 3 happens again twice, May and November, but level 1 happens 4 times, February, May, August, and November. The score metrics provided on the exam is an indicator of the overall performance. If your score is below 50% or equal to 50%, this is considered to be a very poor score. If it is between 51 to 70, it is considered average. And if it is above 70, then it is considered to be above average. So if you're facing 10 questions in a particular subject, you should aim to get 7 of them correct. If you're able to do it, then you will find yourself lying in the above average category, and the chances of clearing the exam brighten up. The key to crack the CFA level 1 exam is performing well in ethics and FRA, because these are the 2 subjects which have the highest weightage among all the other subjects. Right now, let's imagine that if you are in 2020 or 2020, early 2021, then these are your options. If you're in 2020, then December 2020 was the last paper-based exam that happened for level 1. February 2021, the computer-based started happening. In May 21, another computer-based exam happened. August, the 3rd one, and November, the 4th will happen next month. The same cycle will be followed in 2022 also. You'll have February 2022 exam, then May, and then August, and then November 2022. So that's 4 times in a year you will get an opportunity to appear for the exam. And it will depend on by what time can you prepare, and then you can register yourself and appear for the exam. Right. Now for level 2, it's going to be May and August, and for level 3, it's going to be May and November for every year. Doesn't matter whether it's 2021 or 2022. Every year it's going to be May and August and May and November, right? Computer-based test for all the levels 2021 onwards. As I said, L1 is February, May, August, and November. L2 is May and August, and L3 is May and November. Schedule for 22 exams is this. Again, the same: February, May, August, November, February and August, May and November. Your focus will be on this one, as you are going to appear for level 1. A candidate cannot repeat the same level or write the next level in the immediate next quarter. Hence, there is a mandatory 6 months gap between 2 exams. So if you have appeared for February, you cannot appear for May level 2. Level 1 in May once again. Because if, let's suppose, you do not clear the February exam, you cannot appear in May once again. You'll have to appear in August, because the CFA Institute says that there has to be mandatory gap for 6 months. Now, if you want to take up this journey, then this is how it can look for you. Imagine that if you would have given February 2021 exam, you could appear for August 21 level 2 and May 22 in level 3. So in around 1.25 years, you would have completed your CFA journey. Currently, if you go ahead and make up your mind, then Feb 22 will be your level 1, August 22 will be your level 2, and May 23 will be your level 3, which means that again, in 1.5 years, you will be able to complete your CFA journey. The study material. The moment you register for the CFA exam, you'll get a core reading material from the CFA Institute, and you will also get the material from the EduPristine Institute in the form of presentation. And this material is quite good because it helps to build the understanding in a great way. Online LMS login access material in the form of PDF and videos is also something that you will get. So at any point of time, wherever you're stuck, you will have access to the videos. You can watch the video and clarify that concept. And this will be available to you all the time. Important question banks for each topic by EduPristine will also be there. So for your practice and just to ensure that we are all on the same page and you practice enough, you will also have the access to the question banks that you will be able to access, and you can practice the questions and master any concept that you have. You will also be provided important notes during the lecture by the faculties. So whatever concept the faculties will cover, you will be provided the notes by the faculties, which you can refer to later on. For all 3 levels, you will have to buy one calculator. That will be Texas BA2 Plus or Texas BA2 Professional. You can also buy HP, but these are the 2 recommended ones. And once you buy this, it will be good for all 3 levels of CFA. This is the fee structure of the CFA exam. If you go for early registration, which means that, let's say if right now you register yourself for the May exam, in that case you will have to, so that's an early registration. If you register yourself for the February 2022 exam, that will not be an early registration, that will be a late standard registration. If you go for early registration, there will be a one-time charge of $450 that you will have to pay only once. You will not have to pay this on all the levels, on level 2 and level 3. And then the exam registration fees of $700 makes a total of $1,150. If you go for standard, then it will be $450 plus 1,000. That's $1,450. So there's a difference of $300 in total if you register early compared to if you register late. With respect to the information about the dates, you can get that from the CFA Institute website, and there you will get the most updated information with respect to the registration and the dates. Now, this is how you will get the CFA result, and there can be 3 cases. In the first case, so this is your score, the blue line here. It's a clear pass with the score line above the entire score box, comfortably placing above the minimum passing line. So this dotted line is a minimum passing line. And if your score is above this minimum passing line, then you comfortably clear the exam. This is a failure case wherein your score is below the minimum passing line. And this is a borderline case wherein the CFA Institute may pass you or may fail you because your score is on the passing line. But you don't have to worry about that. All you have to worry about is that out of 10 questions, you should get 7 correct, and you can get 3 wrong, right? That is the equation that you have to maintain for every subject that you study in your CFA course. Now, who employs the CFA charter holder? Well, here you will see all the top-notch employers and the industry. The CFA charter holder charter holder provides you with a strong foundation of various career choices in the investment profession, and these are the career choices. 23% of all the charter holders are employed in investment companies or mutual fund. 16% in private client wealth management. 16% in broker dealer, investment banking, sell side research. Sell side research is when you write research reports about companies and recommend the buy or sell on a stock. That's a sell side research. 10% in institutional investment management services, where you take the money of big companies, big institutions, and invest that money. And the rest in consulting firms, education institutions, public plan sponsor, foundation, endowment, and others, right? Most of the people are employed in this particular sector. So here are the job titles that you can get once you are a CFA. You can be a financial modeling analyst or a financial research analyst, equity research analyst, or a credit analyst. The equity research will be on the equity side, like investment into stocks, but the credit analyst will be towards the debt side. So here the analyst will be concerned with the fixed income securities. Financial research could be any kind of research wherein your client could be looking for certain important data related to the financials of the company, and then you might have to provide that important data. This data is generally used for acquisition, merger transactions, which again is a very, very good profile to have. And financial modeling analyst is anyways there. Banking jobs. So here, as I said, the different banks have different divisions, and once you place yourself into a particular division where you can utilize CFA knowledge, that's where you'll place in the banking jobs. Analyst fund fact sheet. Here you will be placing yourself in a major or any minor investment bank. Your job will be to create and update marketing materials for managing funds. And then some other roles related to indexing are also there, where you will be dealing with debt instruments and mergers and acquisitions in various stock exchanges. And then once you move up the ladder, you can also become a project manager. Currently, I'm working as a project manager in my company because I have so and so years of experience. So that's the reason, since I started with analyst and then senior analyst and then manager, and then the team lead, and then the project manager comes. So it's most of a promotion that we are talking about. You start as an analyst, but later on you move up the ladder. Then associate pricing operations, and then process management. So process management and project manager is very close to each other. Then you can become a financial consultant, wherein you can consult or advise the investors on where to invest, what to invest. Research associate, wherein your job will be to do the research on the good opportunities that are available in the market for investment. And then the credit officer, wherein your job will be to approve loans or find out if a particular entity or a particular person is eligible for the loans. Basically, here you will be doing the risk management for the bank or for the company. Here are the top employers in India and globally. Citigroup, CRISIL, Deutsche, Goldman Sachs, HSBC, ICICI, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Barney, Nomura, and State Bank of India. Globally also, somebody asked, what are the opportunities abroad? So these are the major companies which will hire you abroad, because they really have a demand for the CFA charter holders. Right. All right, let me take up some questions. Okay, sorry, I had a power cut. Can you please help me with the exam part, as I missed it? Okay, Naman, exam part as in when are the exams happening? Okay, I think he's okay. The answer for your next question is yes. EduPristine provides online classes. And I'm going to go back to the slide, I think, where you missed. Is this the one? Previous one. Okay, this one. Yeah, so okay, so here we just covered that you can self-schedule the exam, and there will be a 10-day period, and you can appear for the exam on any particular day. 180 questions will be there in total that you'll have to solve. The exam is proctored over 400 plus locations. There are two 2.25-hour sessions with a break in between, 90 questions per session, and multiple choice questions will be there. Base salary after clearing 3 levels of CFA. Well, Rupesh, it depends on the experience and the other qualification that you have. But normally in India, if I talk about a CFA charter holder, earns between 15 to 20 lakhs with 7 to 10 years of experience. That's an average. Do exam happen on weekends? Yes, yes. Exams do happen on weekends. After clearing level 3, do we need to have mandatory experience in relevant field, or can we start fresh? Venkata, there is no mandate. It's just that if you do not, so the CFA Institute just says that if you've already been working, in a relevant field like investment or portfolio or asset management, then they will not have any problem in giving you a charter. A charter would mean that you can write CFA in front of your name. But let's say if you are a fresher and you do not have any relevant work experience, you are yet to take up your first job. In that case, you cannot write CFA. A CFA is written, or a charter is given to you when you have both a relevant experience and the education. Without the relevant experience, the charter would not be given to you, but that would not really harm you in a way that you are anyways a CFA, you have cleared all 3 levels. And once you tell anybody that you have cleared all 3 levels, it is going to make the same impression in their minds as if you are a CFA charter holder. There's just formal thing that you cannot do, which is writing CFA in front of your name, right? So that is the only thing. Otherwise, it's the same. As I said, I have experience in trade and compliance banking. Does it count for CFA experience? It will depend on the profile that you have, Prasad. You have experience in trade and compliance banking. Um, Trade, what kind of trade, right? Like, are you in the risk management side, that people who trade using the demat accounts, is it something related to that? All right, so okay. Trade front end, import and export products of the banks. Which products are you dealing with when it comes to import and export? Can you specify the product that you're dealing with? All right. While Prasad is still answering the question, okay, I think he has letter of credit, bank guarantee, packing credit, FDI, ODI. Okay, I got it. All right. These are pure banking services, Prasad, and these are core. This is a core banking profile that you have currently, wherein the export and import that is done through the banks, letter of credit, and there is a guarantee also from the importers bank and the exporters bank. So these are all very core banking products. uh, I'm not saying that you should not pursue CFA, but let's suppose if you pursue CFA, clear all three levels, and after that you apply for the charter, you might not get a charter because CFA Institute might not count this experience as a relevant experience, right? Because remotely your experience should be related to either corporate finance, investment banking, asset management, investments, dealing with any financial products, writing research reports, equity research, maybe credit research, dealing with debt products, dealing with equity products, something like that, right? Something which you have studied in CFA, right? If you're doing something which is not related to these, then CFA Institute might not give you a charter. But then once you attain the relevant experience, then you can apply for the charter and you get it. Right? So that's how it is. And if your question is also about moving or changing your field or changing your field of work, then yes, I think you are in the right industry. You are in the banking industry. It's just that you have to move to a different division, which is related to more investments and portfolio management and asset management, which is a very easy switch if you have the right qualification. And with CFA, once you have the right qualification and you can prove on papers that this is a job that you can do efficiently, then I think no bank would really have a problem with you taking up that role. Right? And I'm not saying that you should clear all the levels. Level 1 and level 2 is also at times pretty enough to do a certain job. Right? So that would be my answer to your question. Let me know if I've missed anything, or type in your question if you have any more questions. All right. Talking about EduPristine, the EduPristine is the largest, oldest, and the best authorized training partner for CFA exam in India. If you go to the CFA website, you will see EduPristine's name mentioned on the CFA website because we are the authorized training partners. We have trained 15,000 plus CFA aspirants till date. This number is more than this because it's been a while since we updated this number. EduPristine is a member of Adtalem Global Institute. It's a listed company on the New York Stock Exchange, and that company is an education provider. We have another question. Is level 2 and level 3 are also MCQ based exams? Level 2 is MCQ based exam. Level 3 is also MCQ based exam, but morning session of level 3 is subjective, wherein you might have to write your answers, but you don't have to write paragraphs. There is just a one-liner or two-liner answers that they will expect from you to write. They will not give you options, but you might have to write down the right answers in few words. Okay, so that's how it is. So you can say that majority of the CFA course that you will complete will be MCQ. It's just a small part of level 3 that is not MCQ. Adtalem is a $1.2 billion company having 9 institutions and companies with 16,000 employees across 145 locations. It takes pride in training 142,000 degree-seeking students all over the world. And EduPristine provides training in accounting, finance, marketing, analytics. It was founded in 2008 and has a strong online and classroom training platform. As a part of your course, as a part of your course, this is what you can expect from EduPristine. Whether you have an online or a classroom training, you will have 120 hours of training in 24 days. Weekend online training, lecture times are these 9 to 2 and 3 to 8. Topic wise study notes will be provided to you in PDF format. Question bank with 2,500 plus practice questions will be provided to you. Recording of all 24 classes will be there. 8 mock exams. In-house LMS. So LMS is a login system that you will be provided. You can log in and enter the password, and you will have access to all the items that I've talked about. 24/7 online access to LMS, and you'll have a doubt solving forum. You can go to LMS, write down your doubt, and someone will get back to you explaining you whatever concept you have a problem with. Somebody from the faculties, and there are also doubt sessions at times. Then after you're done with all this, you will have a crash course. Crash course will be of 40 hours, 5 days. This will also be a weekend training. 8 hours will be the duration of each crash course session, and the lecture time will be 9 to 5. It will be the revision of all the topics, and special exam preparation tips will be given. Problem solving and doubt solving is all taken in this crash course. You will also be provided a summarized study material that you can quickly look before the exam. 1 mock exam or 8 online tests, question bank, recording. So that is anyways there. Right. As I said, EduPristine is an authorized service provider, training provider. It provides experiential learning to the students, and you will also have soft skills trainings and placement assistance with EduPristine. If you are a fresher, even if you are experienced, you can opt for placement assistance. You'll have a strong online platform. We have a strong online platform and network of classrooms across India, and the content is very comprehensive and regularly updated. All the faculties are industry experts. So as you're talking to me, I am also from the industry, and I have a hands-on experience of working and applying the concepts that I studied in CFA. Right. How many CFA currently in India? A rough number. Is there still demand for it? Rupesh, I don't have the number of how many CFAs are there in India. Maybe you can Google that. But if I talk about demand, yes, there is a huge demand that is there, and huge demand will be there in future also, because the trend is that the Indian stock market or Indian companies or Indian businesses, they are booming. And if the Indian businesses boom, then obviously they will need financial consultants and the investment bankers and the asset managers and the portfolio managers in order to manage investments, right? Because people would definitely want to invest into stocks and the debt markets. And the ones who will help them with that and ones who will analyze things will be the CFAs or CFA charter holders or people pursuing CFA. So demand is huge in this, and it's not too late to pursue. I think we are in a very early stage where CFA is picking up as a course in India, right? Batch size is 25 to 30 students. Generally, we have 15 to 20, but this is a maximum batch size that you'll have. Flexibility of 1 year validity, which means that from the date you join until the next 1 year, you will have access to all the training content or the lectures that you can view at any point of time. So if your exam gets postponed at times, it doesn't mean that you will not have access to the training and you will have to take classes again. You will have access to all the trainings. You can listen to the lectures, and also you can talk to the institute, and they will also allow you to come to the lectures in the class and maybe resolve your doubts. So we'll be with you until you clear the exam. That's what the intention is. Then you will also have the soft skill training, wherein we'll be focusing on proficiency of your speaking, your confidence, preparedness, and clarity in presentations and other instructions. We'll be talking about your strengths and your areas of management. We'll be training you on clarity, openness, and reason, and then presentation skills and other skills that you should have that will make you job ready. CFA exam locations in India. Um, Delhi NCR is one, Bombay is another, third is I think Bangalore, fourth is Chennai, and there are I think two more, right? So you can Google that and you'll get to know the locations. So these are the major locations that we have in India. I think there are 6 locations in total that we have. Right. So the EduPristine's course guidance and support will always be there. You'll have learning management system. You'll have course queries discussion forums, which will be where you'll be assisted by the experts. You will have after course engagement also once the course is completed. Then also there will be certain classes and certain meetings where you can come and discuss your experience and clear your doubts. And there will be a support team anyways that will be there to resolve your doubts. The faculty over here is a topic expert and specialized in their area, and experienced and certified professionals are there, and regular feedbacks are taken to reflect faculty performance. This is the average feedback. This is, I think, more than this number. It's not been updated for a while now, but this should be more than 4.8 now that we have. And this is the students' rating. The students give us ratings during the exam, and this is the average of the ratings that we have received from the students during the class. Placement assistance will revolve around resume building. So the team will help you in building an effective resume, preparation for the interview, and also help you then in finding good opportunities so that you can place yourself in a good company. So these are certain clients that EduPristine has had, and we have provided trainings to these clients, which are generally the part of Fortune 500 corporates. KPMG is there, Ernst & Young. So we have trained their employees on financial concepts and other concepts like valuation models or real estate. Bank of America employees, JP Morgan employees, HSBC, Credit Suisse, Franklin Templeton, Mizuho. So there are various fields or various trainings that we have provided to the employees of these clients. Right. To some, we have provided the financial statement and analysis training and valuation training in corporate finance. To others, we have provided financial modeling. To the others, we have provided risk management and quantitative analysis training. So these have been the major clients for EduPristine over the past. And certain universities have also approached EduPristine, and EduPristine has provided training to their MBA students with respect to the financial modeling majorly, and then with respect to the evaluations training and other workshops that we've been conducting. And these are the major institute: NUS, IIM Calcutta, and FMS, NISM, IIT Delhi, BITS Pilani, ISB Hyderabad, and IIM Indore. These are the two testimonials, but they are really less. These are success stories of the people who have studied from EduPristine. There are many more. If you go to the website of EduPristine and look at that, there are many more people who have success stories, and they give a lot of importance and a lot of share of their success stories to EduPristine, because EduPristine helped them in preparing for all the exams. So how do I get started? Well, the best way to start is enroll for the CFA program and register for the CFA level 1 exam, but don't be in a hurry. I would say analyze first as to 3 things you need to analyze. First is what career option you want to choose. Second is how much time you can take along with the job. And third is what are you expecting from yourself after you become a CFA, right? So these are the 3 questions that you should answer, and after that you should be all ready to enroll for the exam, right? And Yeah, so that's the best way to start the journey. All right, any questions or any queries that you have? So this is the number, this is so I'll just display the, okay, so these are, okay, these are the centers of EduPristine: Mumbai, New Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, and Pune. And this is the number or the WhatsApp of the person with whom you can get in touch with respect to other details that you would like to have regarding the course of EduPristine. What was the fee structure from EduPristine? Venkata, I'm not really aware of that. I think you will have to get in touch with Gaurav or somebody who will let you know what is the fee structure for the course. Any questions that you have or any queries that you might have with respect to anything that we have discussed? Any subjective questions? Any doubts? All right, I think in that case, we can wind up. If you do not have any questions, we can wind up. If you still have any questions, please reach on this number. Somebody will assist you, right? Or maybe if you want to reach the center, that's also an option. So here are the centers. You can look for the address on the website and you can visit the centers also. Working in camps also count as experience for CFA. Working in camps. CAMS is the mutual fund um, uh, platform, right? Computer management system. Is that right? Am I getting this right? Okay. So Rupesh, it doesn't matter which company you're working with. What matters is what is your profile. Okay. If you are a backend analyst at, yeah, if you're a backend analyst at CAMS and you do not have anything to do with finance or investments or mutual fund research, then even though CAMS is related to the investments and the mutual fund world, the experience might not count. But even if you are working with an IT company, let's say Infosys, but at Infosys, your majority of the profile revolves around, you know, uh, revolves around making the investments for the company, trying to find out the best opportunities for the company to make investments, because every company has excess cash, just like Infosys would also have excess cash. And there is a team in the company which is involved in finding out the best opportunities where Infosys can park its excess cash. Is it in equities? Is it in debt? Is it in other instruments? So even though you're a part of IT company, but you can still have a very, very relevant work experience if you have that kind of a profile, right? So at CAMS, analyze what profile you have. And when you go to the CFA website, there is a survey that you can take. Okay. When you go to the CFA website, you can go for a survey. In that survey, CFA website, CFA Institute will ask you certain questions. You answer to those questions, and then CFA Institute will tell you whether your experience is relevant for the charter or not. It doesn't mean that you cannot do CFA. You can do CFA. It's just that this experience might not earn you a charter, but you can complete all three levels. Once you get the relevant experience, you will also get the charter. Okay. Yes, I'm working there as a virtual relationship manager. Okay, relationship manager is a very good profile and very uh, is a very is a very close profile that I can say. If you're working as a virtual relationship manager, you must be dealing with the clients, right? You must be dealing in some way to their investments, in some way to the money or the money management business, right? If you're doing that, even if 50-60% of the job involves that, then it is a very fruitful experience, and that will directly count for uh, the charter, right? So you will not have any problems there. It's a This is what the CFA Institute is looking for, right? They're looking for the experience wherein in some remote way you are dealing with money management or handling money management or investments or portfolio management or asset management or corporate finance, right? If you're doing that, then no problems at all. One more thing, I'm doing audit of mutual funds, hedge funds, and I'm already done CA, CPA. So will it increase my chances to get absorbed by banking companies, mutual fund companies if I do CFA? Because at this stage, I don't want to start from scratch, as I'm right now a manager. Harshit, I totally understand. And I think you will not have to start from scratch, because I think you are doing the audit of the mutual funds. And if you want to move from the audit to the investments side, or maybe from audit to the research side or wealth management or money management side, then it is a very small shift, right? It's not a very huge shift. But yes, CFA is something that can help you in making that shift, and you will not have to start from the scratch. I don't think so, because you're not coming from a science field to a commerce field. You're already into investments field. It's just that you're looking at a different angle of investments right now, which is the audit of the mutual funds. You want to move to a different side, right? And as long as your education will support, you'll be able to make that move. But to the interviewer, you should be able to sound convincing that yes, I have that knowledge and I can do justification to the job that I will take. As long as you can do that, I think it will be a very small shift, and CFA can help you in providing that justification to the job interviewer. All right, any more questions? Okay, then I think we can wind up the session here. If you have any questions, please reach out on this number and they shall help you out. Thank you and have a nice day ahead. Bye-bye.